Now batting for the sports animal, your afternoon drive. Number 2, men on, Van Nunley and Fred Slow. And in the on-deck circle,
Marie Castillo.
We gotta get rid of that.
This is 2 Men On with Van Nunley and Fred Slow.
It's hot. It's Thursday, Albuquerque. You know what that means?
Potential jurors in the O.J. Simpson case were asked to fill out a 75-page jury questionnaire this week. In the entire state of California, only one person got a perfect score. Chow Ming Wu, who after the trial plans to attend Caltech.
Pretty good.
By the way, you can now purchase a bronze statue of the Juice for only $3,395. And for an even $5,000, you can buy one that Al Cowlings has kissed the ass of.
Oh. All right.
Coming in hot.
O.J. Simpson's new fitness video was released this week, and hitting the shelves next week, Simpson's newest video, Dorf on Stalking. The crowd is torn. According to retailers, the most popular Halloween mask this year is O.J. Simpson. And the most popular Halloween greeting is, I'll kill you and that guy who's bringing over your glasses, or trait.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And the Pope came out with a book this week, which contains a series of essays examining faith and morality in today's secular world and the changing role of the Catholic Church as it approaches the 21st century. The book is entitled, God Himself Told Me That O.J. is Guilty.
Oh, gosh. We're going to wear that out today. The world rejoices. O.J. Simpson is dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only one sad thing about this day, Fred.
Didn't come sooner?
Norm isn't here for today.
Yeah, should have been able to deliver.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Norm
Yeah,
McDonald,
good one.
not
That's the
O.J.
one,
Simpson. Norm McDonald.
O.J. Simpson dead today. Allegedly cancer, but who knows if we'll ever find the real killer.
Mm-hmm.
Man. God, he sucks so bad. Oh.
I mean, there is a light at the end of the tunnel here for this little horrible situation that happened today.
Yeah.
Number 1, O.J. Simpson's dead. Number 2, we finally killed Nicole Brown Simpson's killer.
It took
So,
long. Yeah, it
yeah,
took,
took a
long,
while.
Took long enough.
Took a while.
Also, Ron Goldman. Also, yeah, keep that in mind. Who's producing for us today?
Zay Johnson and
Isaiah Johnson.
Isaiah Johnson.
Okay, what year is it? All right, Isaiah, we are live at Revel for the YPA Young Professional Albuquerque City Mixer tonight. Starts at 6 o'clock. Man, going to be a lot of fun. You are back at the studio. I start baseball tonight at 6:15. Josh Sushan joining us at 6 o'clock for the crossover. Also, a bunch of fun guests today. Isaiah.
Yes, sir.
So you're producing the show just today?
Just today.
Or is this
filling in just once?
Welcome.
Just one time.
Good night. Bench hitting. For 2 Men On.
Oh, no, I'm in the lineup.
What?
I'm in the lineup.
What?
I've
Is this
signed the
real?
contract, quite literally. And I am here to stay. I'm getting comfy.
Yeah, baby.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Isaiah Zay Johnson.
In the mix, new producer of 2 Men On, Isaiah Johnson. One of us.
So I guess that means you passed the background check.
Yeah, ooh,
I did.
A little surprising there.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 of us did.
From the Sports Animal live chat on the paper live stream.
That didn't take long at all.
Welcome, Zay, to the program.
Thank you, Brendan. I appreciate it.
Now, background check, maybe, man, but has he passed the vibe check?
Oh,
yeah, that's the
excellent question.
The one that matters most, the vibe check. Now, Isaiah, we need your opinion on the murderous O.J. Simpson.
So, me personally, I think he was a great athlete. I'm a big football guy.
Sure.
He's
$10,000
amazing.
for sure.
Is that?
Amazing football player. He
Yep.
actually, I was just looking, he led the league in rushing 4 times, 5 Pro Bowls, 76 touchdowns. First running back to go for 2,000. But, you know, that can't offset what obviously everyone can't help but to pair with that, which is the court
murders.
The murders.
The murders.
We'll say it
Yes.
for you,
Yes,
Zay.
it's the murders.
You can warm up to the program.
Yeah. It's on Isaiah Johnson's first day as the full-time producer of Two Men On. Isaiah Johnson, who self-identifies and I believe is identified by the government of this United States as a black man,
Correct.
gets to endure the death of O.J. Simpson.
What a day to start.
Way to go, kid.
And of course, he comes out with statistics immediatty.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy was a hell of a running back.
You know, in only
Yeah.
14 games.
In my opinion, Barry Sanders, the only player ever that's better at cutting and slashing more than
Oh,
O.J.
that was
Simpson.
a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. The Naked Gun movie slap.
Oh my God, he was. Hey, rest in peace, Nordberg. All right, O.J. Simpson. He's looking up at us right now. And be
Yeah.
like, too soon, guys.
Getting,
No, it's not.
no,
it's
long
not.
time coming.
No,
The
I got to get more familiar with his movies.
no. There's only 2.
the Naked Gun movies are. There's 3 Naked Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the third one.
Yeah. He's in 33 and a third.
All right, I'll have to revisit that.
I promise. The best one of all time is this one. I think we bring this up more than once, but keep in mind,
Mhm.
in the 1968 season, the Buffalo Bills
There we go.
miss a simple touchdown pass that loses them the final season game, which
Yep.
allows them to get the first overall draft pick in 1969, which allows them to
Nice.
draft, thank you, O.J. Simpson. O.J. then lives in Buffalo, where in Buffalo he meets who? Local TV reporter Nicole Brown. Then they get married, but he kills her. And because he killed her, he hires who, Van?
Mhm.
Robert Kardashian to be his lawyer.
Uh-huh.
They win that case, making the Kardashians somewhat famous. Kim, the daughter of Robert Kardashian and Kris Jenner, she then drops a sex tape and becomes wildly famous. Now
Mhm.
watch this, man.
Yep.
Isaiah, what's your opinion on the Kardashian sex tape?
I didn't know there was one. I didn't know there was a tape. Really?
Is Isaiah's girlfriend listened to his
All
first
right,
episode?
you have a lot of notes already
Yes,
so far in this
yeah.
program.
Catch up.
Wow, really?
Research,
That must-
it is.
So
Man.
her and Ray J, they created a video together. So she becomes very famous. So because the 1968 Bills lose by 1 score in the final game of the season,
Mhm.
getting the first overall draft pick, drafting
Mhm.
O.J. Simpson,
Mhm.
him, Nicole Brown, Ron Goldman, always we should mention, always. Then OJ would, if they got the tutty, he never would have met Nicole Brown, who was a reporter, also from LA, which is kind of weird, but living in Buffalo reporting because she was a reporter for the Bills. That's how he met her. And then we would not have had a sliver of any Kardashian fame if OJ Simpson never murdered.
Correct. Yeah.
Talk about a domino effect.
Mm-hmm. You are exactly right. I mean, without Robert Kardashian, we don't have the rest of the things described.
Well, and Robert Kardashian allegedly
Mhm.
was paying OJ under the table when he was playing at USC because you couldn't NIL at that time.
Correct.
And he was the falutin lawyer in town
Mhm.
who was sliding cash to OJ.
Uh-huh.
And allegedly, OJ, normally when we talk about OJ Simpson, we don't say allegedly because he's actually a murderer.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as the case of Robert Kardashian, you could say allegedly
correct.
because he's still alive to sue us.
That is also
Yeah.
correct.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Mhm.
O.J. Simpson is allegedly the father of Khloe Kardashian due to a weird LA wife swappy, touchy-lovey Kris Jenner deal.
Again, allegedly for that fact.
Yeah, well, but
Not the murdering.
no, the murdering.
We're not saying allegedly for that one.
Man, that is such a factual thing that happened.
Fathering Khloe Kardashian, that's alleged.
That's alleged.
The Stabby McStabby stabs, that's not alleged. He 100% did it.
100% murder.
Hmm.
Some percent probably the father of Khloe Kardashian,
Right.
who said today on Twitter, good riddance.
I mean, look at the before photos of Khloe Kardashian before all the plastic surgery. She doesn't look anything like her sisters. Now they all just look like Steven Tyler. but that's another thing. Before all of the plastic surgery, a very good case was to be made.
O.J. Simpson kills Nicole Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Kardashian's
Mhm.
law license had expired.
Mm.
Before O.J. Simpson is formally accused by the people of the state of California
Mhm.
as a possible murderer, and then the
Mhm.
trial, Robert Kardashian started to revive. He reinstated his license in the
Right.
state of California because he's the first person that O.J. Simpson called
Yes.
on the after he murdered.
Yes.
Like all this is tied together. This is all like very proven. So, and keep in mind, the reason it expired was a decade of non-use. So that's how. Okay, cool. And he was like, actually, here I am again on my own. That was a song lyric. I
It's
didn't.
okay.
I didn't mean to go there.
Mhm.
So the legal team was basically OJ's best friend college book,
Yes.
and then he studied in the relationship with Robert Kardashian and his wife.
And the was called the Dream Team, his legal representation.
Yes.
They referred to them during a murder trial as the Dream Team.
Sounds legit. They had to be legit.
Okay. The Nightmare Team.
I don't know what terminology to use here because I don't know what is not appropriate for radio or what is racially insensitive.
Mhm.
There have been these types of relationships for a long time in powerful couples throughout the world.
Sure.
Okay. Where you get like a very young, muscular, good-looking, often black, like dude to take care. Isaiah asking for attention here, to pay attention to your lady,
Sure.
and that was their thing.
Right.
That is weird.
Super weird.
That's wild weird to me.
Also, I'm not going to kink shame anyone.
No, whatever you're into is whatever you're into.
Unless you're a murderer,
If you murder,
then I will kink shame you.
Murdering's another story.
Mhm.
If you murder,
Not invited to my orgy.
no.
No,
And
sir.
also, if you're Robert Kardashian, you're like, well, if you did that to his wife, Nicole Brown,
Mhm.
like, I guess maybe I want that to happen to my wife too. Like, we don't know.
Sure.
So, Isaiah, how much catching up do you need on O.J. Simpson? Like, do you know, like the people of California versus O.J. Simpson, like the history?
So not super in depth, but one thing I do know that I feel gives it the respect of allegedly, just a little bit, is the classic glove, right? That's what I've heard. I've heard about the glove not fitting more than anything else in the whole entire case.
Glove does not fit. You must acquit.
I've yet to hear a good response as to why or how he could have done it, but the glove didn't fit on his hand. So if you can provide that, then I will be on board with you with eliminating allegedly, and we can go ahead and just 100% book him.
Do you know about OJ's rich history with the isotoners before we start this?
He's no Dan Marino, but close.
I do not.
Okay. So OJ, there were two famed spokesman for isotoner gloves.
Correct.
Okay. One was the heartthrob Dan Marino.
Might be my actual father.
Van's mother,
Mhm.
Sandra Nunley,
Yes.
has only loved 3 men in her life.
Yes.
One is Van Sr.
Correct.
The other, and everyone knows this, the most famous weatherman in the history of the planet.
Yes. Obviously, Steve Stucker.
And finally,
Mhm.
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino.
These three individuals.
I look like a third of each of them.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. I'm like a runt puppy.
The glove did not fit because he made it not fit,
Right.
Isaiah.
Mhm.
He did puffy knucks.
Yes.
He tried to slide it on. Now, also, I'll give you an example. I have
drank a bunch of salt water.
Correct.
Yeah.
I have also been in situations where I've claimed it just doesn't fit. We can't use it. Similar thing.
All right.
Sure.
Same thing. Okay.
Yeah, you get it.
Right.
Okay. So in that, when you put it like that, it
You
clicks.
put it like that. The history. Now, here's the thing. If we do the history of the criminal trial,
Right.
you then have to do the civil trial
Correct.
as well.
Yeah.
There are two trials. because he gets off criminally. And I think so. That was 95.
Mhm.
And it was as culturally relevant, Isaiah. Isaiah, what year were you born?
97.
Dang.
At least I still made the 90s cut, right?
I mean, the conversation back in the day was how can he get off on the criminal trial and then get found guilty for the civil trial?
I mean, how could that happen?
Well, and the difference is there was some new evidence introduced in the civil trial. Obviously, that evidence being the criminal trial.
Yes, that's
everyone
a
got
good-
to
yeah,
watch
that's
the criminal
100%
trial
correct.
and be like, oh my God, he's been guilty this whole time. Guilty.
505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline. Call the program. Tell us where you were when you heard the OJ verdict, because why not?
Sure.
We only get one time ever to celebrate today.
Let's go down memory lane.
Let's do
I got
it.
a couple.
Whenever we get back from the break, don't be surprised there's a lot more Norm Macdonald jokes. It's 2 Men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. We're live from Revel. It's the YPA citywide mixer tonight, man. Going to be a lot of fun. Come down here, hang out with some young cats doing cool things in the community. Also see your boys.
Yep.
The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors.
Yeah, come on. You better give me that, give me that. Yeah, and throw up the set, homie, throw up the set. You better take it back, take it back. Yeah, and throw up the set. Yeah, throw up the set. Now I got my COVID shot, we about to rock the spot. And like the matchup, we about to make.
Say, I swear to God, dude, play that video right now.
Here we
Like,
go.
what's the problem? Like, you don't get hand signals?
In other book news, Prince Charles released an autobiography in which he states that he never loved Princess Di and that his father pressured him to marry her. The book is entitled, Of Course O.J. Did It. I mean, come on. In his book, O.J. Simpson says that he would have taken a bullet or stood in front of a train for Nicole. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is some bad luck when the one guy who would have died for you kills you. That's you don't get worse luck than that. And O.J. announced this week that he's coming out with a new book called I Want to Tell You. And if it's successful, O.J. will work on yet another book entitled From Football to Prison, My 25 Years of Showering with Other Men.
It's obviously before.
Correct.
And finally, in honor of the 50th anniversary of their first publication, Random House will be releasing special commemorative issues of many Dr. Seuss classics. The first to hit the bookshelves will be Green Eggs and Ham and O.J. is Guilty.
Yes, he was. Even Dr. Seuss knew.
Zay, the significance of this thing can't be lost on those that weren't there. This is the birth of, like, court TV.
Correct.
Yeah, court TV did not exist before then. And there was this cat, Lance Ito. Is that right, Van? Lance
Judge Ito, yeah.
So Judge Ito and really everyone in this thing just wanted to be famous. There's not like another way to talk about that. This was before social media. This was before Kim Kardashian was able to become famous in her own way. You know, you got famous here, you know, and for these individuals to do it. And if you remember, Judge Ito, Van, did a bunch of like Larry King interviews.
Yep.
He did all kinds of like
which now is illegal.
Correct. Yeah, you can't do that anymore because of this thing.
Right.
Cato Kalin was a big one.
Right.
He was mostly just a guy who hung out at the Playboy Mansion. Also, Isaiah, the Playboy Mansion is a big part of this story, which is just how sensational the whole thing was. And the Associated Press and like Rutgers, like all those like really legitimate media outlets were like, there shouldn't be TVs in here.
Yeah.
This should not be going this way. But Judge Ito was like, bring in let's do it. Let's send it out to every big affiliate. And at the time, the Desert Storm's going on.
Sure.
You know, the wake of it had a ton of coverage, but Oklahoma City bombing after that didn't get the coverage. This thing, I think Time put him on the cover.
Yeah.
You know, it was like just wild. Was it American Tragedy or An American Tragedy? Mm-hmm. It was a play on that painting, American Gothic or whatever. Like, just the craziest thing of all time, that 94 to 95 O.J. Simpson trial.
And this is led up to like the phenomenon, just like not the court case. And like you mentioned, like it's the first iteration of court TV. Is the first time, I mean, I could remember. I mean, obviously it happens a lot since then, that a court case, everyone in the country was following.
Everyone.
It was news every day.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything like that throughout my life until O.J. Simpson.
Well, and you grew up in the big city of Houston. I grew up in the big city of St. Louis. And you would maybe every so often get the news breaking in with helicopter coverage of like a racing car through the city. And it wouldn't be all the time. But in L.A., this happens all the time.
Sure.
It's like the funnest part of midday soap opera TV.
Right.
They took that L.A. car chase and put it all over the country.
Yeah. Every single channel was covering the O.J. case.
Yeah.
Everybody knew what was happening in real time. And it was unprecedented at the moment.
Correct.
That every single station across the whole country, whether it's cable or or free TV. Every single station had this on.
And such a manipulation outwardly, like, and we were joking with you, Isaiah, because like you're young and you're black and you don't know, right? But like there was a population out there, and I think it was Newsweek had put out a cover of O.J. Simpson, and they had like super like up the contrast, Zay, and you're like, Newsweek, who cares? There was no internet, dog. Like you got your news from the newsstand, you got your
Right.
news in the checkout thing. So they had like blackened him,
Yes,
to like look more menacing, to look more like because that was the MO of that magazine. You could sell more magazine if white people will buy it if OJ looks like a murderer.
sure.
And it was just this weird manipulation that I think we're just used to now, which is the grossest thing of all time.
I mean, that's like some of the first like revitalization of race wars in this country. Like you've recently had the Rodney King right before that, and then boom, like all the energy, all the negative energy from, the Rodney King, the beating, and just poured right into OJ.
100% true.
And like it's the classic news, if it bleeds, it leads. Like if you can get people angry, you can get people pissed off, they will tune in.
The news was the story's sensational, right? Like he hunts her down. He breaks into her home. Her alleged boyfriend is there. He murders both of them. He flees the scene. He calls his lawyer buddy. He calls his best friend to hide stuff. This is exactly what we're describing as factual stuff that happened. And then all these news outlets, they're blowing it out of proportion. They're like he left the scene. Let's say he drove off at a regular speed, right? They're like he peeled out at 100 miles per hour down the block, and everything was like that. And like literally, because the story is already so sensational, the best reporting on it is like the National Enquirer,
right?
And you don't know what that is, Zay, because you're so young. But that was this like was Princess Di an alien?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, just
Elvis found alive in Canada.
Oh man, I could not at that time because I was 10, I guess. I was 10, and we're in the lunchroom, and it's like a conversation amongst 10-year-olds in the lunchroom. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, we stopped class. I was in middle school at the time. I had moved from Houston.
Oh, on the verdict, yeah.
I had moved from Houston to Carlsbad, New Mexico, where both my parents are from. And we literally stopped. And this is very recently, after we had televisions in the classroom. So we could have like caveman TV.
Yeah.
And we could watch like the school news or whatever. And you, instead of wheeling out the television and VCR on Teacher Doesn't Care Anymore Friday, and you just watch a movie, you could just plug it right in, and the TV was in the classroom. The TV was on the verdict. We stopped learning about English and mathematics and science and history to watch the OJ verdict. It was a wild moment in time.
There was this thing, Isaiah, that you probably didn't utilize as a kid, but it was huge for me in Van, called Channel 1 News. And Channel 1 News was this 15-minute, maybe 10-minute news program that went out every single day to kids in classrooms around the country. And the incentive for kids, and I know where you grew up and you know where I grew up, and probably true for Van too, because it's not the most affluent neighborhood. These schools would allow the Channel 1 programming, which was paid, produced, and advertised on by I think PBS might have owned it, but that might not be correct. Olivia Munn started on. She's like one of the most famous ones that came off of it. So anyways, classrooms would get free TVs if they aired Channel 1.
Right.
And I only feel like I remember as a kid seeing coverage of this thing on those TVs. Like I couldn't tell you a single Channel 1 story, but I could tell you that that's where I learned about the Simpson trial.
Right.
Because that's all the conversation was. And then whenever the time did come.
Also, apologies to the lovely family from Springfield, the Simpsons, no relation.
You know what? That's a good point. You know, let's keep Bart and Lisa and Maggie in our prayers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's do that.
Don't take it out on them, guys.
I think those two being in the same sentence is just pretty comical. But it's like a reach. But
there was like, God, the 90s was so stupid and weird. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal text line. There was this thing going on in the 90s, which I guess is happening now to a certain sect, but it was so mainstream. Oprah kind of did this, where it was buy a book that'll help yourself. Like, forget about others,
Right.
but look into yourself and put yourself number one. And the reason you're unhappy at home, homemakers, because you don't meet your chi or whatever. And they
After the commercial break, we're joined by Anthony Robbins.
correct, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Tony, tell us what you can do to help yourself, help others. Well, the first thing you do to help others is to make sure you help yourself. Like, it was all packaged so stupid, and it's created so many mental health issues, but that's a conversation for another time. But there was like this instant gratification from books. And I remember that, Van, like, as this thing's going on, you could go and buy like a quickly, I mean, like, zero vetting, only opinion, like Reader's Digest piece of a book that was like the first 3 weeks of the OJ trial.
Yep.
And it would, whatever, they push it everywhere. And you couldn't get Oprah because Oprah's top tier, but you could get Sally Jesse Raphael, or you could get Ricky Lake, and you could go on Geraldo and say, I'm so-and-so, and I got the recap of this OJ, and it would sell like crazy, and we'll never see that again. We'll never be inundated from 8 a.m. morning news, midday talk, afternoon, because the court case was in LA. So you're getting it if you're on the East Coast in the afternoon, the live stream. You're watching all day, the nightly news recap. And then when you're sitting at the dinner table, you have to like agree with family or disagree with neighbors. Oh, it was so crazy, dude.
It took over the world. Like, now we're just so overstimulated with a bazillion TV channels and a bazillion apps to watch television and social media. We're constantly bombarded by story after story after story, where something like this, whatever today's OJ, would probably be 24, 48 hour news cycle. This was months of content.
If you're naming the person, because at that time, maybe it's The Rock. You know what I mean? Because it's like, who's that athlete?
Yeah.
Who's that movie star?
Sure.
Like, 10,000 all-purpose yards.
He was on top of the world.
The number one spot.
Even when Trump was having the issues, like, you didn't really hear about it as much as you would think you would. Like,
what do you mean been having?
Yeah,
like, constantly also
just
currently having. Yeah,
Trump, indicted, and you barely hear about it. And that's Donald Trump.
We have different algorithms, but yes, I see what you're saying.
I mean, you said The Rock. I'll say Tom Brady. Like, there's nothing like he could do it on every football commercial.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Isotoners, Miller Lite, like everything you could think of. OJ's face was on it. Motion pictures, movies, like hit movies. The one of the best running backs in the history of the game. He was on top of the world, and this happened. There's not really a comp.
And then there was like this eye-opening, let's get into this. Hey, I get it. There's Shohei news today. We're going to have a bunch of guests on. Like, there's all kinds of stuff going on. OJ Simpson only dies once.
Sure.
We get today. Like, let me be that guy today, friend of the show.
We're leaning into it for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
What else do I got to do?
For sure.
I got to talk about isotopes for 15 minutes. And even in that, I'm going to say OJ stuff.
Yeah.
More of a milk guy. We're at Revel. It's YPA tonight. Young Professional of Albuquerque's. None of these kids are old enough to remember what was going on at all with this. Oh, I missed that signal. What was that?
We got a phone call.
Oh, well, we'll take it whenever we get back from the break.
Love that.
Cool. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Rock. It's
Judge
time to
Ito
rock.
was interviewed
It's
this
time
week
to
by a
rock.
local
Hey, yo,
TV station in Los Angeles. Asked by the interviewer if it was appropriate for a supposedly impartial judge to be on TV with his case still pending, Ito said, "Maybe not, but how appropriate is it to kill your ex-wife?"
He's so good.
It was revealed today that O.J. Simpson told police that Nicole Brown Simpson used to beat him up. He also claimed that she and Ron Goldman killed him. O.J. Simpson's lawyers have decided to skip hearings on DNA evidence and go right to trial. Asked why they did this, the lawyers replied, "We want to get O.J. acquitted as speedily as possible so he can get back to doing what he does best, killing people."
Yep, there you go. Isaiah, is it true that the Sports Animal Hotline has callers?
It is true. There is a caller.
Now, does this caller have a name?
Jacques.
Oh, Jacques. I think I know who this is.
Okay, welcome to the program, friend of the show and friend of the YMCA.
Boom.
Director of Getting Your Rear End in There, Jacques Tony. Jacques, welcome to the program, brother.
What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all doing today?
We're celebrating a little bit. How are you?
What are we celebrating exactly?
It's a holiday today.
Are you familiar with Schadenfreude?
Are you familiar with that?
It's a German term saying you get pleasure from the pain of others.
Yes.
Yeah, OJ's dead. Let's go.
That's where we're at now?
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with the program, Jacques?
I'm very familiar with the program.
Okay.
We should be celebrating OJ. You know, he's a Heisman winner.
Okay.
He set NCAA titles out there. What, 2,000 yards in the season, 250 yards in a game? Like, what's going on? Why are we beating a man down?
2 murders.
Yeah, okay.
It's 2 murders.
Yeah, Hitler loved puppies.
I mean,
yeah,
The
sure.
glove didn't fit. The glove didn't fit. That's all I got to say on that.
See, that's kind of what I was saying. That was the point I threw out.
Our friend Jacques' a big Johnny Cochran guy.
Jacques, where were you June 15th, 1995?
I mean, I will say he did have the dream team of lawyers. I mean, one of his lawyers got a serial killer off also, but we're not going to go there. But we're going to say that the man had a great NFL career and much respect to him. Sorry that you had to die at a young 76 years old.
No, Jacques.
No, Jacques.
No.
No, we're not celebrating a murderer. That's not what we do here.
Stop. Oh. Where were you?
I mean, exactly what is murder to you? Because the judge didn't tell me that.
Yeah,
he told me something way different.
Yeah.
Which judge?
Now, if you were sitting there calling him a thief, that's a whole different conversation.
Went to jail for a minute.
They've both been proven.
Now, Jacques, where were you when the verdict was read in 95?
95, you know, I was a young, drooling kid in about kindergarten.
No clue.
But I actually done a couple of projects on OJ himself because, you know, that's the kind of guy I am.
What does that mean?
Do you remember your kindergarten lesson for the day? Were you going over the letter M for murderer?
No, they were still calling it red rum at that point.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So Jacques went to his school to do his student council report, and he was like, "Well, listen, if the only options are OJ and Michael, I guess I'll take OJ."
Okay, fine.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking OJ on that one.
Jacques, what's going on at the Y, brother?
We got great things coming on, man. We got Healthy Kids Day coming up this month. I'm really, really excited about that. It's a free event for everyone to come down April 27th from 11 to 3. We got some bouncy houses. We'll have some fun, fit and fun classes for the kids, some classes for the adults also, so everyone can get together and get them all signed up for summer camp, Camp Shaver, specialty camps, all that stuff, man.
And parents of Albuquerque, if you were worried, OJ will not be there.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Not present.
If you pull up to the
I hope
YMCA
not.
and there is a white Ford Bronco in the parking lot, not him.
Not him.
Not OJ.
He gone.
Yeah, probably just an enthusiast.
Okay.
It's mine.
Oh, God, Jacques. We got to go to break. Jacques, tell me the why.
He just had his music really loud, and he didn't see the sirens behind him. That's what would happen that day.
Jacques' license plate is 2000 YDS.
Yeah, the YMCA doesn't just teach. The YMCA doesn't just teach gymnastics to kids; it teaches mental gymnastics. That's what
yes.
Jacques is doing right now.
I love Naked Gun, but it does not excuse it.
It is a good movie.
It's so good.
Jock, you're the best, brother.
You guys are best. Thank you for having me.
I like him so
When you
much.
coming down?
We need
Next
to.
Wednesday, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be there for y'all. Have a
Love
good
it.
night.
Thanks, brother. Like him so much.
Go Jets.
When we get back from the break, we're slumming with YPA. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
at 12 midnight. Rides are only valid Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each weekend. There's no excuse for drinking.
Mike's hot.
Well, let's get to OJ. OJ Simpson's lawyers say they don't want the families of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman in the courtroom during the trial. They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind OJ of how much more killing he still has to do. Well, O.J. Simpson's lawyers stopped feuding this week, finally. The Dream Team, F. Lee Bailey and Robert Shapiro, were able to put aside their differences and express their admiration for each other after O.J. threatened to cut their heads off.
Sounds real. Very real. Very, very real.
Ben, we got a couple guests.
We do have a couple guests. Some of our friends at the YPA. Obviously, El Presidente, Jay Shaw.
Let's go.
And
Thank
then ex-president who was outed in disgrace,
Acquitted.
Kyle Biederwolf.
Hey.
Yeah.
There was an impeachment. It was behind the scenes.
OG friend of the show, Kyle Biederwolf, I don't mind saying.
Jay, Kyle, welcome to the program. How are you boys? Tell us a little bit about the event tonight.
Yeah, we have an event here tonight at Revel, big space. We're going to have a ton of people here. Already more than 600 registered. Have some drink tickets for you guys too. Don't want to forget
I'm
that.
a thirsty
They're
boy.
branded as well.
Oh, this,
Thank
is
you, sir.
this is a good start to the number of tickets I'm going to need.
Yeah, but
Hey, catered by our friends at Teller Vodka.
Let's go.
Yeah, baby.
shout out Chris Lureg.
Yeah.
Those only work for apple juice and soda though. So
No
keep that
OJ.
in mind.
No OJ. No
Not
OJ.
Smart. Good answer. Good answer. Citywide mixer though, right? So it's not just individuals that are currently part of YPA. It's open to all. And you can come here, and then within a 1 mile radius, your dating app will do well.
Yeah, the Hinge is going to be off the hook tonight. Rebel's going to be feeling it. Anyone can come. The entire city's invited. We have over 20 partner organizations, so they're bringing their audience in, and we just wanted to be like a huge celebration. So celebrating the future of Albuquerque and young professionals.
Kyle, how much better is this one going to be than when you were president?
Oh, it's gonna. We set the bar pretty high last year. We didn't get either Fred or Van at the event last year, and you guys got here 2 hours before it started.
We were busy.
so it's
or
already
you guys
it's
are
already
committed.
it's already better than last year.
last year we
Boom.
were busy or uninterested. I don't remember which.
Yeah,
Tell the friends of the show a little bit what YPA does for the community.
Yeah, it stands for. I'll let Kyle tag into, but it stands for Young Professionals of Albuquerque.
Oh, that
This
tracks.
is our that tracks right. The letters line up, and we've been around 15 years. It's our 15th year anniversary. How
Yeah.
long has your radio show been around?
Well, I've been in
only
the game.
6.
Only six, okay.
Only 6.
Yeah.
so your radio show is still a young professional.
There
of
you go.
Albuquerque.
Okay.
Yeah.
You let 6-year-olds on the board?
Maybe.
Oh, let's go.
We continue with the boys from YPA when we get back from the break. Also, we're going to make fun of O.J. Simpson.
Oh, yeah, we should start doing that.
That's a thing. We're
Yeah.
going to do that thing. Streaming on live from Revel, Citywide Mixer tonight with the Young Professionals of Albuquerque, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Look at the real.
Number 2, Menon, Van Nunley,
Trying to get my name on this.
and in the on-deck circle,
Amory Castillo. This is on with Van
All right.
Slow.
Mike's hot.
According to the National Transportation Safety Board, sleepy truckers are responsible for 1,000 deaths a year. In second place, O.J. Simpson at 2 deaths a year.
Tracks.
It was revealed this week that defense lawyer Johnny Cochran once abused his first wife. In his defense, Cochran said, "Hey, at least I didn't kill her like some people I know." Tomorrow, Judge Lancito will take O.J. and the jury on a tour of the now famous crime scene. For the jury, it will be their first look at the actual location. Of course, for O.J., it will be just a case of been there, done that. Judge Lancito was happy with the jurors' field trip to the crime scene last week. It went off without a hitch, said Ito. Not one murder.
It's a wild time. The OJ verdict. Kyle, were you alive? Kyle Beaterwolf joining us on the program. Were you alive?
I was not. I probably wasn't even a thought yet. Let's be real.
Oh God, you have no idea.
Hey, I've
about
watched the
anything.
Made in America, so
What-
I feel like I'm a little bit informed.
What is that? The Mike Rowe thing that was on the Discovery Channel?
Oh no, it was the 30 for 30, I believe, did like a 5-part docuseries.
Is that the one with David Schwimmer?
Oh no,
Is that the one?
that's the FX one. Also
Ah,
pretty good. Also pretty good.
I didn't watch either.
No.
I lived
Dang.
through it. I
Yeah,
need to
why
watch
did-
a documentary that
I'm
I
not
lived through.
Not about that life.
Yeah.
Jay, what time do the doors open tonight?
Doors open at 5:30. So
Okay.
if you're in Albuquerque and you're listening to this, come on down. You don't even have to.
Where are we at? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's a good question. Revel Entertainment,
Ah.
Ooh, that's a good spot.
right by Costco.
Okay, right by what?
Costco.
I would have went Top
Wholesale.
Golf. I would have said Top Golf.
Or Top. I'm a
There-
Costco guy,
yeah,
but Top Golf.
There
Sure.
are multiple Costcos. There's basically one Top Golf. But yeah, let's go with Costco.
That's fair.
I would have gone with the Shamrock Warehouse across the street.
Yeah.
It's only one
It's
Shamrock.
like restaurant supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty identical.
If you need a ladle,
Yeah.
come down.
In bulk.
Yeah, also come over to Revel. So the citywide mixer tonight at Revel with YPA. That is why me and Van are here. Chris Lawyer going to be here.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Chris going to come on the program here in a little bit.
I like that a lot.
He donated some Teller cans
Yeah.
for us to hand out. First 200 people that registered get one.
You're burying the lead, son. Like, that's where we should have been. People, that's what,
So should have
that's
kicked
what
off
the
with.
people want.
Well, we like Jay mentioned, we already have 600 people registered, so
Yeah.
that's long gone. The 200 tickets. Poof,
Is
they're
this
in
just,
the-
is
thin
this
air
like
now.
they just accepted a Facebook invite? Because that doesn't count.
No, they gave us their info. Yeah, they're gonna start getting spam emails from us.
Oh,
soon.
They gave us
Ah,
their social
nice.
security
A
number,
fishing
We make it
operation
really
there.
hard to unsubscribe. So
credit card CVV.
What is CVV?
Just the 3-digit code on the back of your credit card.
No. What's your
Yeah,
CVV?
what's your CVV?
Oh. 610.
It's going to be a good one tonight. Obviously, we live in the world of sports. You guys are going to be at Isotopes Park tomorrow night?
yeah, we are. The mayor's office actually invited YPA to their suite for tomorrow's Isotopes game. So we're looking forward to it.
All 600 people?
All 600.
We're gonna try
My
to squeeze them in.
goodness.
I'm just bummed that I actually have to go watch it live and I can't listen to Josh Shushan just talk about it throughout the
You
entire
can
game.
do that during the game.
See, I would just get too confused.
With
it's
what?
Too much is going on at once.
You're just listening to what you're looking at. That's like television, but in person.
That's asking too much of me, you know?
I don't know where today you would get like a tuner personal radio. Because if you stream it, it's going to be delayed.
As it should be.
Yeah. So where would you get like a tuner?
I have one.
Walkman style radio.
Yeah, I got one during COVID because I wanted to go to the drive-in theater because all the regular theaters were closed and you have to have one to play the audio of the movie through.
Because there's no radio in your car.
Well, I didn't want the battery to die.
This is your logic.
Wow.
Solid logic.
We got a wow from Isaiah. I mean, antique store is the answer. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna ask where you actually got it
It
from.
was
swap
like
and sell.
$15 on Amazon.
Okay, so it's
Somewhere on
Amazon.
Manal in between Carlisle and San Mateo. That's where you get an old radio.
And if you have
Also, where
absolutely
you'll
no,
find my house.
and if you have absolutely no idea what we're talking about, you should come out to the Young Professionals of Albuquerque
There you go.
Citywide Mixer
Yeah.
tonight.
Yep.
Like that a lot. We obviously talk about being a part of YPA. You got the real reason we mess with you guys. You do a lot for Albuquerque. You do a lot for the community. What is the big give this year? What are you guys doing? Who are you helping?
Yeah. So our you're gonna love this. Our community engagement chair. His name is OJ.
How appropriate.
Just real
Yeah.
life.
I'm not making this up. Okay. And he's actually chosen a different nonprofit or charity around Albuquerque to support every couple months. So it rotates regularly. The next one is probably going to be Habitat for Humanity.
I
Good
thought
guess.
you were going to say prostate cancer. Yeah.
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 Which we are a fan of today.
Today only.
Today's the one
Yeah.
day.
Now, hold on. Let them have their day in court first.
Oh, good.
Cancer
Yeah.
might not have done it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We'll
Yeah.
find the real killer of
For
OJ.
sure.
Now, OJ's OJ has a last name.
ROJ?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Okay. And it's not Simpson.
No.
Last I checked, no, he might have lied on the application. We
Okay.
didn't do a background, but
Nice.
I'm
Now,
hoping.
is he of an age to where his parents were familiar with the O.J. Simpson trial and the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman?
And has he rushed for 2,000 yards?
Not the latter. The former, I think he was alive. He was born in 95.
There is no way.
That's wild.
There's I would be so mad at my parents.
I know, and I don't know why Jay's answering this too. He's one vowel away from being named OJ as well.
That's a good point. Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't follow. How does that work
Jay.
out?
O is a vowel.
Yeah.
Your name is
OJ.
Jay.
Oh,
I
yes.
swear it right now.
My
Oh,
goodness. My goodness.
YPA used to be in good hands. Now Jay runs it. One last time, details on tonight.
Yes, please. You're welcome to join. Anyone listening in, you didn't have to register in advance. It's at Revel Entertainment.
What's it cost?
Costs absolutely nothing.
What?
It's totally
My
free.
goodness. That's the best price.
We're gonna have food too.
Free
You're
food,
hungry?
free
Come on down.
shirts. We have a photo booth. We have the 360 photo booth. We're gonna have the mayor here. We have a lot of fun stuff planned tonight.
DJ M Martinez just walked through the door.
Yes.
He's gonna be
Alright.
spinning all night.
M. Martinez, he did the late night after party show at La Noche a few months ago, put on by Albuquerque Hispano Chamber. So he's hot stuff.
Yeah. but
And
just
come
really-
get your raffle tickets. The winner gets OJ's Heisman Trophy.
Nah, just appreciate you guys as always showing support to the young professionals of Albuquerque and the Citywide Mixer. You know, we couldn't have had as much success last year and this year if it wasn't for you all.
Yes,
so I
you
appreciate
could
it.
Yeah,
have.
easily.
I was trying to be nice.
We're deterring people from coming. You know that, right?
If they know we're here, they go the other direction.
Okay, they'll be gone by 6:20.
They're going to the other crossroads.
Kyle, Jay, thank you both so very
Thank
much.
you for the support.
Big event tonight at Revel. Come on down, zero cost to you. It's not like a sit down dinner though. It's like a graze thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come as you'd like. We have a bunch of high tops set up. If you want to sit down, we have some tables. Like we
Yeah.
said, free food. We have drink specials going on.
This
I mean,
is
it's just gonna be a
casual too,
blast.
right? Like
Absolutely.
you
It's
guys
casual.
are going to dress the way you're currently dressed because it sucks.
I was actually going to go throw on a 3-piece tux, but I guess I'll just stay in my jeans.
Yeah,
just
I
for
saw you brought some isotoners to celebrate today.
Mhm.
cool part of your look.
Oh, thanks. And I got in here in my white Bronco.
Very nice.
Don't know if that's true, but kind of cool flex if it is.
Kyle's in his Crocs. He'll change out of them at least.
Those are fire Crocs, dude.
Thanks. I learned from Safe House's own Chris Lurie.
Oh God,
Going to be on the program here. in a half
okay.
hour.
good for public too. That's what they say. Kyle, Jay, thank you both so very much. When we get back from the break, more from Revel because well, it's the Citywide Mixer tonight for YPA.
Let's go.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Auto Parts.
It's hot.
Now has a 1-900 number. For $2.99 a minute, Cowlings will tell callers that OJ is innocent. And for $3.99 a minute, he'll try to do it without laughing. And this week, Simpson defense lawyers questioned witnesses about a half-melted container of ice cream found at the murder site. The Simpson defense has seized upon the ice cream for two reasons. One, it may help fix the time of the murders. And two, it was the only thing in the murder scene without any of OJ's blood on it. To illustrate the point that their client is running out of money to defend himself, OJ Simpson's lawyer said this week that if he had to do it over again, after killing his victims, OJ would now rob them as well. That one you find troubling? We went, was OJ Simpson high on speed the night of the murders? Absolutely not, said defense attorney Johnny Cochran today. And a simple test of any of OJ's blood found at the crime scene will prove it. And OJ pal Al Cowling said this week that in looking for the truth in the OJ Simpson case, he sometimes talks to a picture of Nicole Brown Simpson, something that in the past would have gotten him killed by OJ.
Nice. Norm Macdonald was possibly the best to ever do it in that role.
Agree.
If we were to do the I-9 varsity of Weekend Update hosts, the current ones would be in the mix.
I got them ranked second.
Che and Jost would be in the mix.
Correct.
You're going to put Norm Macdonald in the mix?
Norm's the GOAT.
100%. I think he's number one. Colin Quinn deserves to be in the mix. Colin Quinn.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, was real special for a long time.
I'm a big Amy and Tina guy.
Yeah,
there was some magic there for a minute.
The girls were good.
Yeah.
The girls were good. But no, it's not to be ever duplicated again. You know, the story goes that Lorne Michaels was buddies with some of OJ's buddies.
Yeah.
Not OJ proper, but OJ's buddies, including the law firm of the Kardashians.
Sure.
And cool. And Norm, not allegedly, but actually lost his job at Saturday Night Live for leaning so hard into the OJ stuff.
He didn't stop.
No.
He never stopped.
Never stopped.
A lot of the jokes that you hear Norm Macdonald saying on this program, if you watch old Saturday Night Live or you watch like a mega cut on YouTube, there'll be a lot of OJ jokes that aren't on the screen because he went against the script and kept going after OJ. Got in big trouble.
He does this off the top of my head. What do OJ Simpson and Michael Jackson have in common? Both missing one glove. You go, okay. Like,
so good.
So it sounds like there could be an argument made. What was OJ's team really the dream team, or was the other side just terrible? Did an awful job.
That argument has been made for years.
Yeah, I mean LAPD.
That's the one.
Yeah,
because all those
Mark Furman. Is that Furman?
Yeah.
Does that sound correct?
And this job title, I don't be right, but criminalist, I think is what it is. It was that hair and fiber stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they all were about. To where it was. Doug Diedrich, is that right? So Doug Diedrich was like, yeah, we got some stuff. So we just kind of literally played with it. You're like, what? Like, why did you do that? That's wild to me. But there was like a blue hat or something, Van. Like, I don't know if that's right. But like embedded in the seams were like blood of the victims, and it was
Sure.
like OJ's hat, and they're like, well, did anyone touch the hat? And they're like, yeah, you know, some of the cops took pictures in it or whatever, you know. And you're like, what is going on here? Why does Kato Kalin look smart?
It was so obviously OJ. The LAPD kind of just like dialed it in, like they didn't even do their due diligence.
Yeah,
they screwed up so many things.
when so it was like, hey, we have fibers off this dark blue shirt. And if someone's wearing that shirt, they were definitely there. We don't know if they're the murderer or whatever. And then Kato Kaelin's on the stand, and he's like, "Yeah, OJ wears that blue shirt all the time. That's like his
That's favorite shirt.
Yeah, it's like his murdering shirt. Like he loves that stuff." And it was like, God, man, had they gone to like McDonald's or something? Am I making this up? So he like commits murder. He calls Kato Kaelin, and he's like, hey, let's get a McDouble or whatever, a Big Mac. And Kato Kaelin was like, yeah, at the McDonald's, I thought it was ketchup or whatever, and then like the police never found the shirt, or it was so wild, Isaiah, just like the comedic series of errors and ignorance. There was a big thing with like a shoe print too, where it was, I don't remember. Bosniak, is that right? These are all off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So like they were like, yeah, it's this popular type of shoe, and it's kind of a high-end shoe, like it was like an Italian shoe.
Sure.
And it was like they're like, LA though, anyone can kind of afford that. And everyone's like, do murderers wear custom Italian shoes though? Like, is that like who out there? Like your boy, me, I wear a size 13. This is a big ass shoe. If you put this shoe on another human being, their foot is too small for this shoe. OJ wears a 13. It might have been a 12, but you get the point.
Bruno Magli.
Was that what it was?
It was killing me. It was in my head.
That's the shoe.
Yeah, Bruno Magli shoes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But they were like, "Yeah, we don't know about the shoe print because of whatever." And then OJ's like, I wouldn't wear those ugly ass shoes. And they're like, that's the defense?
Yeah.
The defense is you think they're ugly?
You had 30 pairs of them.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of like,
yeah.
There were a bunch of like red carpet photos and stuff of him wearing what was it? Berglio what?
Bruno Magli.
Yeah. Which is like, I think now like a famed lady. I think it was made like super famous again by like Sex and the City.
Okay.
For like a lady version of shoes. But just, it was crazy, dude. It was... There's not a way.
They're not just for OJ cosplay. Like they're actually like nice shoes.
Yeah, they're probably nice shoes. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But yeah, that Robert Shapiro and Robert Kardashian and what was the other cast name? Bailey. Like it was all them that were like, we got you. Like, do whatever you want. The Johnny Cochran stuff though, he was like a boxing promoter.
Yeah.
With the way he would put together this defense stuff and
so 90s. It was so 90s.
Yeah, it was like he felt like Don King.
For sure. It was cartoon-esque.
Yeah.
The way it played out.
And he would get out there and he would, there's two types of style, I think, when it comes to communication. We've done this bit on air before, but there's like the long, drawn out, like paragraphical, like storytelling where you can just get into like immense detail and oversaturate someone to where you look like intelligent. You know what I mean? You look like what you're whatever going on or about. And then
you're describing Russell Brand.
I'm describing Russell Brand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then there's the exact opposite version, Donald Trump.
Right.
Where you say 3 or 4 words in a row and you make it catchy.
Sure.
And everyone just regurgitates. And that's you, Isaiah.
Look, people, if the glove does not fit,
yeah.
you must quit.
Ugly ass shoes. Like, that's the defense, right?
Yeah.
And that's where like Cochran came out on top with like the masses.
Sure.
Similar to the way Donald Trump did all these years, where it's you just say like, now we'd call it memeable, but you give like memeable phrases and you end up winning out against.
No one was rooting for the LAPD at this time.
Everyone,
either.
No.
When people were like watching with such delight, how they kept screwing this up. OJ Simpson killing people notwithstanding, people were rooting for OJ because how awful LAPD was at the time with all the riots, with the Rodney King stuff, with the covering up the murders, with all the Rampart adjacent stuff. People wanted to see LAPD fail. That was another layer to this that people forget. It wasn't just OJ and his cartoon lawyers getting away with murder. This was bigger than that.
The cross contamination or the cross examination of the cross contaminations
Right.
from the LAPD, and people are like, get him, get the man,
Sure.
get the authority.
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm low key that guy too.
Right.
I'm 100% that guy. Like, I want the right thing to always happen, but it just can't happen from idiots, you know.
Right.
And that's the problem with the LA Police Department for all those years. I think I read a study one time that was like, man, I'm not going to get these percents right, so I'm just going to ballpark you. But it was like in the 70s in Los Angeles, it was like 90% of police officers had admitted, like under immunity,
Right.
that they had done something like unlawful in the last whatever calendar year or
Right.
something, right? And those percents never really went away. You know, that was a wild time. And like I said, the verdict was incredibly weirder. The back gate defense, the Bronco stuff, the socks, the glove, man, it was like the craziest and also most simplest written criminal story that was like unveiling live. It was like a soap opera. It was like, I don't know, what's a good TV comparison to this thing, man? I can't come up with one.
It didn't exist.
No, like you're looking for, I'm like, oh, maybe a miniseries, maybe Roots, you know, had grabbed people that substantially, or maybe Tiger King, you know, during COVID. Like,
Right.
Yeah, but no.
No.
Oh, just crazy.
You had no choice during COVID but to watch Tiger King. That's what everyone was talking about. That's what it was actually good and entertaining, notwithstanding. But that's what every person in the universe was watching and talking about. People flocked to the television during the OJ trial to talk about this. Everyone was infatuated. The country and world was infatuated with this one trial.
The guy that ran Isotoner, which I feel like his name was Rick Rubin, and I remember that because that's also famed music producer, now excellent podcast host, Rick Rubin. But he had like reached out to the trial. It was like, I will come in and testify that these Isotoner gloves have shrunk from the time they were produced.
Sure.
It was like, why? It was like clout chasing. It was everyone that could be involved was yearning to be involved because this is where the ratings were. Just incredibly wild. Just the most wildest thing of all time. We pressed the brakes on OJ jokes, but only kind of, because we're
just for a second.
We're still going to sneak them in though with our friend Audrey Harper. Whenever we get back, she's got a banger of an event coming up at Hollow Spirits. It's the Beard and Mustache Throwdown. We'll tell you all about that on I guess that's next Friday. Shoot, dude. Time
Boom.
flies. April the 19th. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610 live from Revel. We're here for the Citywide Mixer. Thank you, YPA, the sports animal.
last words were, they might be able to find the real killer. You know, if you ask me, Goldman's last words were probably, hey, you're O.J. Simpson. Oh no, O.J. has struck again. How about that? Not a good thing. And in court this week, Cato Kalin testified that O.J. Simpson did not appear angry before or after the period of his wife's murder. But Kalin admitted he could have been a touch edgy while he was actually murdering her. Might have been a...
Get that one,
Hertz rental car company announced this week that it will buy 520,000 vehicles, increasing its worldwide fleet 24%. In addition, they will try to find a new spokesman who won't kill his ex-wife.
Smart.
It's a big one.
Joining us on the program, Audrey Harper. Audrey, welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What is your official capacity on the program today? Like, what job title are you trying to use?
Gosh, event organizer. We'll call it that.
I like it. You got a big one coming up at Hollow Spirits.
That's
and we
correct.
actually kind of already low-key started being a part of it.
You guys kind of low-key started being a big part of it, actually. Duke City Championship Wrestling. And
Let's go.
That's
Let's
what's up.
go.
That's right. Big hands to them. Our event is wrestling themed. So I reached out to the gentlemen here, and they were very kind enough to kind of jump on the bandwagon with us and help promote this event, be a big part of it, be a donor for it. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. And I appreciate both of you guys having me on to talk a little bit about our event today. Thank you so much for that.
Beard and Mustache Throwdown is April the 19th. That's a Friday, Van.
Boom.
And that's going to be over at Hollow Spirits. We will be in attendance with the program.
Yeah.
So that will be a lot of fun. Also, Duke City Championship Wrestling, which, by the way, listener, that's a thing that I own.
Sure.
If you go to dccwtickets.com and buy tickets, to our next event, April the 24th at the Historic El Rey Theater. It's a Wednesday. That money, Audrey, slides directly into Daddy's pockets. Okay? So that money ends up in Daddy's pockets.
And we want Daddy's pockets so fat.
That's a good one.
But Daddy is also a kind and benevolent father. And so he has chosen to help donate a little bit money back to the charity that our event is supporting.
Which charity is that?
So we are working with Elevate the Spectrum. They are a local grassroots autism support group.
Let's go.
They do a little bit of outreach, community support for people on the spectrum and their families. They're also a provider of the Elevate the Spectrum Hero Bags, which have been in the news recently, and they provide support to our local first responder community. So your fire department, your police department, your emergency responders, your ambulance folks, they go in and they do training with these folks so that if they're ever on a scene and there is somebody who's on the spectrum in these trauma situations, they have a lot of training for them so that they can help make these situations successful and as safe as possible. They also do hero bags, which contain tons of great items for folks on the spectrum to help them, get through one of these traumatic events. So soundproofing earmuffs, fidget spinners, even whiteboards for those who might be nonverbal, so that our first responder teams can actually facilitate these traumatic events and get through it safely and successfully for everyone involved.
I used to work in the mental health field with people with differing abilities. So first off, thank you so much. What first drew you into this cause?
So the folks that actually run the organization have approached me previously to see if I wouldn't help head up the MC, the voice of one of the events, and they wanted to have one of these events, one of these beard and mustache competitions in an effort to raise money for their foundation. And they found me at a previous beard and mustache competition where I was the mouth on stage, just sort of riffing and doing the thing, and asked me if I wouldn't help MC for one of their events. And after a couple of events, I realized that I know enough people in this town that I can help them make it a little bit bigger and a little bit better. So I took over organization this year, and I want to see them be as successful as possible. I want them to have as much money to go back into this autism support group, to help do outings and events for folks that are on the spectrum and their families, and to do even more of that outreach with the first responder community for the ETS hero bags and trauma-related events.
Audrey the Mouth Harper joining us on the program. She's got a big event coming up at Hollow Spirits, which we are talking about. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is called the Beard and Mustache Throwdown. You brought out a fun group to Duke City Championship Wrestling last month called the Bearded Villains.
That's right. The Bearded Villains. So if you see these guys around, they almost look like a motorcycle gang. They almost look like a motorcycle gang, but they are a beard and mustache enthusiast group. They have chapters all over the world, and our local New Mexico chapter has been around for going on 9 years. They'll be having their anniversary on the weekend of our event. So they're one of the biggest supporters of our event. And one of the heads of the local chapter is married to the lady who's the board president for the Elevate the Spectrum organization.
Oh, how great.
How great.
Yeah, so obviously you talked a little bit about the hero bags. Whenever you first turned me onto this a month ago, I bought the thing from Little Caesars. I went and got the little package. So they had a fun little pizza thing, Van. There was a ton of fun ways to help in this organization. So how very cool that this is happening. But talk about the event itself, right? Hollow Spirits was a partner of the program for a long time. We're very familiar with the layout, and so is the friend of the show. But you guys are taking over the parking lot. Is that my understanding?
No, we're actually taking over the upper patio deck, which is slated to have its own bar as well. So we get the whole upstairs. We'll have a little bit of vending from some of our donors on the lower level as well.
Yeah.
Now, weather permitting, we will be outside. It'll be a beautiful, gorgeous evening. If not, we will find ourselves in the distillery proper for the entire event.
You are also selling tickets for Duke City Championship Wrestling on the 24th, April the 24th.
April the 24th, which is the Wednesday after our event.
Yep.
So, yes, if you guys need tickets to that event, you can definitely find me online. I'm happy to take care of facilitating ticket purchases.
Audrey the Mouth Harper, percents of those ticket sales go towards this cause, so that's very fun.
No, that's amazing. We really want to again thank Duke City Championship Wrestling for that donation back into this cause.
How do the friends of the show get involved with the Hollow Spirits event before they get involved with the Duke City Championship Wrestling event?
Right. So you can definitely find us on Instagram at Beard and Mustache 505. That's a great way to link in. We also have a Facebook page for the event going on. You can link into it from the Instagram page, probably the easiest way to find it. You can link into it from the Bearded Villains 505 website or from their page as well. So anybody who wants to get involved with this, message us, send us an email. You can email me as well, atomicbeautycompany@gmail.com, which will be the direct way to communicate with me if you'd like to become a sponsor, if you'd like to become a vendor, or if you just need more general information about the event.
Boom.
Van needs his no hairs waxed. Can you help him with that?
Everything.
Hey, Van's the worst. He's the absolute worst, I think, of all time when it comes to taking care of his own personal hygiene.
Not a single hair in these nostrils, and my beard and mustache is just immaculate. So how dare you?
Oh, your beard and mustache is clean and crisp, and there is not a bat in that
much.
cave. I can attest to that as well.
What is that?
She was looking. I saw her.
Oh, I looked hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, scouted it right away.
Immediately.
Looking for new opportunity. Obviously, we're talking about the big event at Hollow Spirits. Some of the Bearded Villains guys came out with Duke City Championship Wrestling the last time that we were at the historic El Rey and got involved in a match, Van. There was some tomfoolery from one of our villain wrestlers.
That's
right.
Yeah, he was messing with one of our hero wrestlers.
How dare they?
Yeah. And then the Bearded Villains, they stood tall and proud and protected like our hero here. And now we're going to have a beard versus hair match at Duke City Championship Wrestling, which the Bearded Villains will be, to my understanding, shaving the loser in the middle of the ring.
That's to my understanding as well. And
Yeah.
I did offer to wax everything off of the loser.
Okay,
but I
everything.
do understand that
Just
might be a bit
eyebrows
extreme.
down, like everything.
The dip and rip, as we call it.
Oh, nice.
That's how Johnny Cochran would have said it. Audrey,
He's my third uncle. Did you know that?
keep going.
Okay. No, that's a lie.
You had me for a second.
Hey.
Where were you during the OJ verdict?
Hey, girl, I don't tell any of my secrets.
Okay. So
Not the murder, the verdict.
I don't tell any
Oh,
of my
okay.
secrets, okay? I don't care where or when. Nobody knows.
you,
all right?
you go, who's OJ? You go, what's the big story today?
I don't even drink juice.
The statute of limitations have long lapsed.
He's
You're fine.
dead. He can't OJ can't hurt anyone anymore.
He's in that big white Bronco in the sky.
No, not in the sky. Not
in
at
the
all.
sky.
That
No,
is
no,
not
no.
factual.
It's easy to get turned around.
It's they do that. You know how you see those stupid like in memory shirts where there's like
the clouds and the angel wings.
Yeah, I saw one today that was a Bronco. And I go, somebody has to own that, right? That has to be
The Bronco?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It has to be possessed by someone.
Google community, come back with that.
My goodness.
Who owns that?
How much?
Oh, the Goldman family. Because
They-
they got it all.
Yeah.
Oh, just terrible. Audrey, anything we missed before we cut you loose?
I guess I would like to mention that with our beard and mustache event, we are also having a bearded maiden category.
What does that mean?
Ooh,
So
love
bearded
that.
maiden category, it's for the hairless, the smooth, the ladies, the kids even. Craft a beard out of anything that you have, and we have a great category that's always a ton of fun for that. So you don't have to be a here shoot person in order to enter that category. We also have a stupid human tricks talent competition. So if you bend weird or you make a funny sound or you can turn your face inside out or yodel or whatever, we have a great little category for that because we want everybody to be able to participate. And all of the entry fees go right back over into the Elevate the Spectrum organization.
That noise is Fred calling quail.
Quail.
Is that quail?
Are you
Quail
hon?
calling.
That's quail. Okay.
You're a little out of season, my guy.
Oh, well, what the quail. What the quail. Audrey the Mouth Harper, thank you so very much.
Thanks for having me.
I liked everything about this. It was so very good. One more time, the details on the event.
Details on the event next Friday, April 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Hollow Spirits, the 2024 Beard and Mustache Throwdown. 7 facial hair fracas events, including
Nice.
a bearded maiden category and a stupid human tricks talent category. Raffle tickets will be sold at the event for tons of amazing artwork and prizes. All of that money goes right back into Elevate the Spectrum, your local grassroots
Boom.
autism support charity.
Love everything about it. Love everything about you. And whenever we get back, we continue our OJ jokes, and we'll do it with anyone who's willing to laugh with us.
Blessings.
It's 2 Men On live from Rebel because we're hanging out with the citywide mixer from YPA. That's the Young Professionals of Albuquerque, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
This week that the jury is torn by dissension and is already divided into 2 camps. Those who think he is guilty and those who are really, really stupid. A bad week for the prosecution of the O.J. Simpson trial. Under intense cross-examination by defense lawyer Barry Scheck, LAPD crime expert Dennis Fung admitted that he may have contaminated the crime scene when he accidentally dropped a big bucket full of O.J.'s DNA.
Oh, God.
Our top story tonight, this week in the O.J. Simpson trial. After grisly photos of the murdered Nicole Brown Simpson were shown in court, OJ turned his head away and wept. It was at that moment that he realized he would never be able to kill her again.
Bummer.
Well, in a questionable move by the defense team this week, O.J. Simpson demonstrated how to stab two people at the same time.
That's the way you think.
He's doing it.
Remember 12 Angry Men, the classic courtroom drama? Well, the first film about the O.J. Simpson case is in the works. It's entitled 9 Angry Black People, 2 Scared Asians, and a White Guy Who Hasn't Spoken Since Rosa Lopez.
That was the jury, Isaiah. That was the jury.
Makeup.
Yeah, that's how the jury was made up.
Testimony during the final week provided some spellbinding moments. In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat.
Welcome back to the program. Chris Lurig of Teller Vodka joining us.
What up?
What's up? How are you guys?
Hey, buddy. You are a YPA yourself.
I am.
Congratulations.
You know, I can only do it for so long.
How much time you got? Because I'm aged out.
I'll be there soon.
YPA does so many cool things for the community that we love helping them in any way. But I aged out a few years ago.
Hey, not in our hearts.
That's okay. Thank you, Chris.
Where were you, Chris, during the OJ verdict?
I didn't even know that happened. I was flying back from North Carolina today.
Kyle Biederwolf joining us on the broadcast as well. Kyle Biederwolf, welcome back to the program. No, when you found out he was dying, or when you found out?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking
the
about.
verdict in '95.
Look, that's how
I was 5.
I mean,
that's how laser focused Chris is on making delicious vodka and bourbon.
He's only out like celebrating awards that Teller wins, and then coming back and launching new Teller.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good life to have. So was it not part of like your household in existence when you were 5? You don't have memory of OJ stuff?
I've done a lot since I was 5.
That he's talking about. Okay. Yeah.
Same.
Like where that one went. Tell us about Saturday. What's going on?
So Saturday during the day we have a private tour and tasting for our new whiskey release for a bourbon.
Wild.
Yeah.
So
you get a private flight of 4 different bourbons, single barrel, cask strength,
check my inbox,
normal, hazmat, and then a private tour of the distillery. First time we're kind of opening up to the public in almost 5 years.
That's wild. That's before COVID.
Yeah, that's when we opened and we were doing tours.
That's a testament to what you guys have done over the last few years at Teller Vodka. Not only you make award-winning products over and over and over again, but you survive COVID.
Oh, yeah. We made a lot of hand sanitizer.
You sat down with us here at the table. Obviously, you got here a little bit earlier. In front of us, and I just need to know your jealousy level. So our friend Jason York at the Recognition Place brought us a 2-men-on custom championship belt. How do you feel sitting in the grace of the most tremendous piece of merchandise you've ever seen?
I mean, I'm ready to wrestle for it at Duke City Wrestling. Celebrity match right here for you, the 2-men-on belt.
You against who?
Steve Stucker.
Dick Niffing.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We'd be done.
A member of the YMCA, Dick Niffling, by the way.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, heck of a dude.
Anyways, here comes Schaefer with a steel. I couldn't come up with anything. I was going to do a Don Schrader joke, and the name escaped me. So I super blew it. That was not the one. We've done very limited sports talk today, obviously, because of the OJ stuff. Like, it's consumed me in Van for the day.
Yeah.
Kyle Biederwolf joining us as well, YPA. It's consumed me in Van today. It was the first thing we texted about in the morning. We've only been preparing, like, jokes and stuff all day. But it's just missed you completely? Like, how have you guys...
I was flying all day. I barely got back to Albuquerque.
So they don't have TV on the... Oh, you're one of those guys.
I listen to music.
The whole flight?
Yeah.
Oh, I turn on CNN.
Is that all you do during flights? Just listen to music, no drink tickets, no nothing
I didn't
else?
drink at all. I was a good boy.
He had it. He had his binder out creating new drinks.
I knew I was
He's
drinking
not
tonight.
consuming, he's creating.
Do you nap? Can you nap on a plane?
Yeah.
See, we're different people, dude.
You just gotta try harder.
At what?
At being tired.
Hey, flying from the Carolinas sucks, dude. That's heck of far. And there's
For
no
one
direct flight.
No.
No, you got to go to Dallas, hang out.
Chicago.
Yeah. There's a point when you get into the, I don't know if it's of age or level of entertainment, like professionally, where so many of your stories become about airports. I have so many airport stories.
Sure.
And I'm like, do these jokes relate to people that don't fly regularly?
Right.
Like, are these worth telling to anyone?
No one ever gets my quarter club jokes.
That's a good joke.
See the way you two are looking.
Peter will
See
come
the way
in.
you two are looking at me.
We're younger. We're part of YPA still.
Oh, zing!
We don't remember the OJ trial.
I feel like
I said I was 5. I don't remember that.
Oh, I was a thought.
Kyle was -1.
Kyle's not even sure if his parents had met.
Hey, they were married at that point. Shout out Tom and Val.
You don't have to lie to us. We don't care. YPA tonight, 600 people in attendance. Do they get to sample your new anything? Is that coming out tonight or no?
The first 200 people will get a cocktail ticket, right? Yeah, for some of our canned cocktails.
Oh, that's super sweet.
So we donated a bunch of those. So the first 200 get that. The newer stuff will come out over there. Let's see, 3 of them will probably come out June-ish, and then 8 more will come out in like August.
Isn't that wild? And it's everywhere now, right? Not just New Mexico. It's
right now it's still in New Mexico. We
Okay.
haven't shipped outside the state yet, but Texas and Colorado and probably Arizona is coming over the next couple months.
how wild. How just incredibly
That's exciting.
wild.
What new recipes are you working on? Is that's keeping it close to the vest until it comes out, or are you ready to give a little hint?
There's a couple that you might know of. There's an old fashioned in a bottle, so a pre-made old fashioned.
Yo.
There's a honey whiskey. There's a lemon vodka.
Yo.
There's a cherry limeade canned cocktail.
I could if I. Yeah, that's for me.
I just woke up.
And there might be a Gatorade and vodka electrolyte cocktail.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
As an elite level athlete myself,
Now I'm sold.
I'm very excited.
Isaiah's like, that reminds me of college. That's some minutes ago. I have still not gotten away from my absolute favorite, which is that watermelon walk-off, which we fell in love with.
OG.
Yeah, at Ice Stones Park so many years ago, and I believe it's still there.
Oh, it's still
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
It's like the one, though, right? That's the one people still just clamor for, or have they really started to branch out?
I mean, the blueberry's always been the top one.
Oh, has it?
And then the watermelon and grapefruit are pretty much tied as second right now.
Now, we're not telling you to stay up with the times, but you may have, we broke the news to you here on the show. O.J. Simpson died, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Would you have any interest in an O.J.-themed juice?
Maybe for next April Fool's.
That's Teller Bucket's like, we got it.
It'll be a collab with Hobo Hank.
Oh, good get.
Love that.
I don't know. Why does Hobo Hank not have a canned cocktail yet? What do we got to do?
Maybe I was working on one out there.
Hey, yo.
We recently nominated Hobo Hank for the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. And we're having, if he's inducted, which I believe there's a strong possibility.
What do you mean if?
When he's inducted.
There you go.
We're going to have our party at Teller Vodka.
we're
going down to Safe House.
You know we're
We're going to get so weirdly loose to celebrate the life of Hobo Hank, the most famed professional wrestler in the history of New Mexico.
We were talking at the last show about doing one, so there might be one in the works right now.
Love that.
I need it.
Would it just be sweat?
Mixed with Rio Grande water.
So double sweat.
You're coming out to the next wrestling show?
Oh, yeah, always.
April the 24th at the historic El Rey Theater, dccwtickets.com. Keep in mind, if you buy a ticket to Duke City Championship Wrestling, you're sliding money into Daddy's pockets, so they go right into my pockets, and I enjoy it. I then enjoy your money.
He buys Teller with it.
I spend a lot of money.
Chris, the weather's turning right now. Are you going to be able to keep Teller tea on the shelves when I go golfing every Sunday?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We'll never run out. We're good.
Excellent.
That's our favorite. We drink that, so
Chris
we
and
make
I-
enough.
Chris and I one time used a Teller tea as a tea on a golf course.
Yes, duh.
What else
Duh.
would you do with it?
And we have Teller golf tees, so it's perfect.
Chris killed ball and I killed the can. I'm not a good golfer. Are we at the break, Isaiah? I can't quite hear it.
Yes, we are.
Let's do this. Let's step away so we can come back. Boys, thank you so very much. Josh Sushan with us after the break? The answer is yes. Just say yes.
That's true.
It's 2 men
Yes,
on
he'll be back.
95.9 FM and AM 610. Live from Revel. It's the Citywide Mixer. Thank you to YPA tonight, the sports animal.
It is finally official.
All right, you're going to hot now.
2 hours after the verdict, LA police had their first solid lead in the hunt for the real killer. A new witness has come forward who saw 3 men fleeing the crime scene the night of the murders. Police have released this sketch and would like to hear from anyone who has seen
It's a picture
these
of
3
OJ.
It's
individuals.
3 pictures of OJ.
On Tuesday at 1:15, the moment the Simpson verdict was delivered, Court TV scored its highest ratings ever. An hour later, the channel went out of business. Well, that covers the main developments in the O.J. Simpson case this week. And after all, other important things are going on in the world. Now more O.J. Simpson. When Simpson trial juror Gina Rodborough returned home this week, her little girls were delighted to have her back. And no wonder. She lets them get away with murder. Our top story tonight. Following his shocking acquittal 2 weeks ago, O.J. Simpson vowed never to rest until the real killers of Nicole Brown Simpson are brought to justice. And the manhunt continues.
Is Josh with us?
He is. He is here.
Welcome to the program. The first guest that we've had today who is actually paying attention to television the day the OJ verdict was announced. Voice of your Albuquerque Isotopes, one Josh Sushan. Josh, welcome, brother.
Are you guys trying to insinuate that I'm super old or something? Is that what this is?
Dog, we just had a bunch of like young professionals on,
Yes.
and they're like, we don't know anything about
People
OJ.
who weren't alive when the car chase or the verdict happened were on our program.
There was shooting a kid over here whose name was OJ, and he didn't even get that is ironic. Like it was the hypocrisy. That was the worst part.
Oh, no. I think the murder was the worst part.
Josh, where were you on the day of the OJ verdict?
Yeah, so for the day of the chase, I was driving from San Diego State back up to Northern California that day, and I had a car that had no radio, no AM, no FM. The internet obviously did not exist. Cell phones did not exist. Or I guess cell phones existed, but I definitely couldn't afford one. All I did was listen to cassette tapes back then. So I'm driving north on I-5 at the same time that OJ is going south on 405. And even though those are different highways, there was so many people that were just rushing to all of the highways to try to see OJ that I was in bumper-to-bumper traffic throughout LA. What is normally a 7-hour drive from San Diego to my parents' house in Pleasanton took me 11 hours. And when I finally pulled up, I went inside my dad's place, and I was like, cool, we're going to watch the Rockets and the Knicks in the NBA Finals. And my dad's like, no, we're not. It's not on. It's the OJ chase. I stayed enthralled through the rest of that night and pretty much the next 3 years of my life. That's all I did was read and watch about OJ Simpson.
So wait, so he was already your favorite player, or that's when he became your favorite player?
I think that's a no answer on purpose there, Fred. I think that was calculated silence, my friend.
Where were you at the verdict then, Josh?
The verdict, I specifically remember that too. So by the time of the verdict, first of all, I remember, so I interned at ESPN in the summer of 95. And that's when, before they had Embrace Debate, they had nothing on in the middle of the day. It was just like wilderness of television. But they started to put the OJ Simpson on.
Body
and
by
I remember
Jessica.
that ESPN's journalistic coverage was pretty much the best that was out there at the time. This was before TMZ. Their coverage was just like the most objective, just right on point. And so, again, I'm interning at ESPN, and it's always on. And so I'm constantly watching the trial instead of doing whatever jobs I should have been doing as an intern. But then by the time the verdict occurred, I'm the editor-in-chief of the Daily Aztec, and we knew that it was going to happen that day, and I said, all right, we need to dispatch reporters all over campus so that we can basically just localize the national story, right? SDSU reacts to the story. And so we had reporters all over the campus, and I was basically in the newsroom watching on this tiny TV that we had that was in there for the results, and pretty much just coordinated our coverage of what different students thought about the verdict and like the whole trial and all that kind of stuff, and pretty much our entire next day's college newspaper was devoted to just what SDSU students thought about the whole thing.
But how did your black friends feel?
So it's very interesting you bring that up. My roommate Lamar is from Los Angeles, and it was actually quite the enlightening experience. I mean, look, I grew up in a fairly white suburb in Pleasanton, and so Lamar, black guy from Los Angeles, he's my roommate, he's my good friend. And I remember sitting there talking to him one day, and he was saying, and we were talking about police brutality and about police planting evidence. And I'm looking at him like, what are you talking about? And he's like, this happens all the time.
Yep.
And I remember that was the first time that I really just started to get a different view of, not like the first time, but it was one of those like major moments when you realize that someone else has lived a much different life than you have based on where they live and their experiences and what the police are like in that area. And I remember it was really illuminating to me where, you know, when the verdict happened and most of our coverage was based on, that most of the black students on campus were excited, they celebrated, and most of the white students on campus were appalled and couldn't believe the verdict. And I wasn't surprised by I was surprised by the verdict, but I wasn't surprised by the reaction because of the conversations that I had with my roommate Lamar.
How did your Derek Jeter colored friends take it?
Good question.
Yeah.
I'm
kidding,
I don't think any of us knew who Derek Jeter was back then. That was 94. Jeter made his debut in 95. None of us knew who Derek Jeter was back then.
So we were talking about the cultural phenomenon that the OJ trial was. Like, I remember I was in middle school, and we stopped class to watch the verdict on our television class. Do you have like a modern comp to something that just took over popular society like the OJ trial did?
Man, that's a really good question, Van. And I don't know if there is something, and I think it's because also the viewing experience back then was all you had was the TV. Like maybe you had radio, but now if something similar were to happen, we would all just be glued to our phones.
Right.
And we would all just be interacting via Twitter and the video messages that get posted on TikTok and on Instagram. And so our viewing experience would be so much more scattered, and it would be from wherever you happen to be, you would just look at your phone. But back then, you had to go find a TV. So, like, there was people on San Diego State's campus that came into our newsroom at the Daily Aztec because they knew that was one of the very few places that had TVs. Most people didn't have TVs in their dorm room. I never had a TV in my dorm room. We had one TV for 5 of us at the apartment that I rented by then. There was very few TVs anywhere that were located on campus. I think there was one in the student union, so we pretty much dispatched our reporters to wherever the TVs were. But it's not like a lot of people care. I mean, people had boom boxes back then, but I don't know if anyone was listening to AM radio to get the results. So you just had thousands of people jamming around really small TVs. This is before big screen TVs in order to hear the results. And if you couldn't get close enough to the TV, then you had people screaming who were close enough to the TV to the people who were far enough away from the TV on what was happening, what the verdict was.
Yo.
Laurel, Yanni, white and gold, blue and black, Tiger King. I mean, we can kind of run a list. Does a day like today in the news take over a baseball locker room? Does it become like the sole point of conversation, or is there a laser focus to professional athletics that I don't understand?
Well, it depends on how old the players are. So on a day like today, you're talking about the minor league baseball players. They're very similar ages to the people who you were talking to earlier on your show.
Yeah.
Aren't even aware of this happening, right? I mean, that was 30 years ago. We've only got a couple players on the team that are over 30 years old, and they're 32. So they don't understand the cultural significance of the chase, of the verdict, of what the coverage was like, of just how much this consumed all of our lives because it had every element of a story that can happen. Now, there's times that a clubhouse will definitely be buzzing with whatever the news is that is not sports related. But I don't know if today is that day. I would doubt that today is that day just because of the age factor.
Who's done more harm to Browns, O.J. Simpson or Jimmy and Dee Haslam?
Good question.
That's a question for you guys to discuss.
Yes, Sushan. I was setting up a 2-hour and 11-minute joke about the Cleveland Browns. Thank you.
It was pretty good. I really like the way we went with that. Isotopes can't win, Josh. What's going on?
Isotopes can't catch the ball and throw the ball as well as they need to do so. And when you're not doing those things, especially at this ballpark, it becomes very difficult to win games because you can't give away extra outs. And they had too many walks Tuesday, and they're just not making plays defensively. I'm a big believer in how much sports are contagious, both good and bad, whether that's shooting the basketball well or poorly in basketball, whether that is the errors that you make, whether it's the walks, and contagious things happen in sports. So it needs to turn around, and it needs to turn around quickly. Because you fall behind 10-0 after 4 innings, there's a pretty good shot you can still come back. And they did. They scored 10 runs, but they lost because they gave up a few more. You guys want to take a guess at how many times in Isotopes Park history, remember this is the 21st year, how many times we've had a game where both teams have scored at least 10 runs?
Oh, gosh, a bunch, I would assume. I'm giving it a guess. I'm going to say 40 times.
Over.
It's 80.
Yeah, it's like
80 times. So it's about 4 per year. We've already had 2 this year. Where both teams score 10 or more runs.
Sush, earlier I was talking to Sandy Kay, my beloved mother, and your biggest fan.
Yeah, she loves you.
And she asked me how the Rockies were doing. And I said, well, the Isotopes are also starting off very poorly. The problem is the Isotopes have a fantastic team. They just also happen to be playing on the Rockies right now. Is their youth and inexperience kind of the thorn in their side right now?
Yeah, that's a pretty good way of looking at it. I think it's safe to say that there's some guys who are in the big leagues who certainly have the talent and have the ability to be longtime major leaguers, but maybe they would not be in the major leagues in other organizations at this point. What is interesting about the Rockies, they've yet to make a roster move, right? They've played 13 games, and they've had the exact same 26 players for all 13 games, which is incredibly rare nowadays. When you think about the number of pitchers that have elbow injuries every single day, and the number of hamstrings that normally get blown out early in the season. So now the Rockies had an enormous number of injuries last year and in spring training, so it's not like they are the picture of health. But in terms of who they've had since day one, it's been the same 26 players. Again, we know that this is going to change. And look, they're struggling. The Isotopes are struggling. There's no denying it, and both need to figure out a way to turn things around.
The first roster will be Jordan Beck going up to the major league level. Is it safe to get like a 28 jersey for him up there? Are they going to give that to him? Like, what's the plan?
I don't know if he'd be the first one to get called up. No, he's having a really good season.
He's
but I
my
don't know if he'd be
favorite
the
player,
first one to get
Josh.
called up.
Josh, he's my favorite player.
All right, well, just because he's your favorite player doesn't mean he's the first one who would be called up.
I don't like that logic, but keep going.
And so to follow up on your question, I don't know what number that he would be given. I don't have the Rockies roster in front of me. I'm sure that you guys have quicker access to a computer than me, but if someone else has already got 28, I don't think they're just going to hand it to him.
Okay, so I was just kind of, because Arenado wore 28.
Sure.
So I was like, well, maybe because he's going to be the next. He's the next Nolan Arenado, like as far as excellence goes. So that was the connection I was trying to make.
Naturally.
So I'm going to get one. This is what I'm saying. I'm going to
get one.
Yeah, I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one, Josh. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Sush,
All
who's
right.
on the pregame?
What if you got one that just had his name on it and it didn't have a number so that you could just fill it in later?
Nah, they're going to give him the Arenado rub. I can feel it. The dude's a stud.
Right. Look, I'm not trying to discount him. He is a stud. He's going to be a major leaguer, and he's going to be a major leaguer for a very long time. I just don't know if he's going to be the first one to get called up.
I don't like that. I don't like what Josh just said. Who's on the pregame?
He's not on the 40-man roster, and there's other guys who are currently at AAA with a lot more major league experience than him who are on the 40-man roster who are also playing really well, including the guy who I thought was your favorite player, Sam Hilliard. I'm going to tell Sam that he is no longer your favorite player.
He's my favorite player after 3 more dingers. That's when he becomes my favorite player. The Jordan Beck is 22 years old, and if the worst team in baseball isn't excited about bringing up a young, scrappy kid to get exposed to the world of Major League Baseball and make every 13-year-old in the 313 fall in love with him, then I don't know what the Rockies are doing.
Isn't it the 303, not the 313?
I was kind of on a rant, but let me run with it.
Yeah. Let me text Ludacris.
The 313 area code is in Detroit. I should have known that from that famed rap song. 313 Detroit area code.
Sush, your dude Clint Hurdle still hanging out?
Yeah, he is. In fact, part 2 of the interview is today, and a lot of the topics that we discussed is what I discussed with Clint as well. We actually chatted yesterday.
About OJ?
It's really interesting talking to Clint about, hey, when the team doesn't play well, when they have a really bad game, what do you look for the next day? And I thought his answer was really interesting about what he looks for from both the players and the coaches in terms of their attitude and just the way that they handle themselves the next day.
I mean, I like that. I like the psychology of baseball a lot. That's the guy I want. Tomorrow, I hope we get Clint Hurdle tomorrow. Nothing promised, nothing delivered. But
except for Forrest Hilton totally promised.
He totally promised.
He did, yeah. Besides that.
I will ask Clint Hurdle about OJ so fast.
Sure.
That's...
Dude, Clint is such a great person to talk to. He's so much fun. He's so, full of just energy and just perspective and wisdom and fun, and he's the best.
I believe he is the best. That is also my energy on him. First pitch tonight, 6:35. Who's on the bump?
On the bump is left-hander Josh Rogers, who also does not remember the O.J. chase because even though he was alive, he was not old enough to fathom what's happening on a TV.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Sure.
That's super tracks. And that's I hope there's never an O.J. thing for #kids these days, but I kind of find it weird that they don't have maybe I'm old man slow, but they don't have that exact same shared connection that I feel everyone does. There was 150 million televisions like Josh described with 5 or 6 people gathered around all of them taking in that thing 30 years ago. I was 11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was 13.
Josh,
14 maybe.
Josh, final words before we cut you loose, brother?
Let's get a victory tonight. What do you say?
Long time coming. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Josh Huson, thank you so much, voice of the Isotopes.
Thank
Isaiah.
you. Talk to you guys in person tomorrow.
Oh, I love that. Isaiah, it was your first day as the producer. You're
Yes,
the
sir.
forever producer. No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure. No pressure at all.
Sorry, OJ tried to ruin your day, Zay.
Classic OJ mess around.
Okay.
Van, final words?
Hey, young professionals, get out here to Revel. Come meet some new friends.
I like that. That was good.
Also, check out the opening drive tomorrow morning with Jeff and JJ.
Good job, everyone. GG.
See you at Isotopes Park tomorrow, Burke.
Good episode of the show. I really like the Isaiah parts.